5 years ago, the mysterious death of evil crime man and the murder killer correction facility.
Oh god. Oh my god. This video is so boring. Why do these guys always have to yap? Whatever. Sorry, bro. I'm not watching your 30-hour video essay right now. You know, it's whatever. I'm just gonna scroll here. Ooh, evil crime man story explained with cats? Oh, okay, this is good. I'll get my information from this instead. Nowadays, there are plenty of ways of getting information throughout the internet. Ever since its creation, a whole new world was open to us thanks to its insanely vast potential, like videos, articles, documentaries. But what is the real superior way of getting your information online? Let me think. Oh, I know. Quirky, cute cat explanation videos. There is nothing like a few short posts that simplify the passing of a horrific event with Wojack's cats. Just imagine, a close friend or family member gets murdered, you can do nothing but mourn their death, and some true crime Wojak account starts talking about, this is the story of Robert and how they were unalived in a brutal unaliving spree. Really, just a lovely parting gift. Honestly. In all seriousness though, this type of content is very telling of the issues regarding the mental state of society nowadays. It has become way easier to be misinformed and for our opinions to be molded due to popular opinion. Even if some opinions aren't misinformed, they could also just end up being overly simplified, which is equally as bad. Claiming that independent thought has become compromised by slop nowadays isn't too much of an exaggeration. This is a lot more telling with the surge of short-form content that TikTok brought with it. There isn't anything inherently wrong with short-form news or content, it's just that the human brain wasn't meant to handle such fast-paced content constantly. I know that this point is very tired, the whole, you're cooking your brain and your attention span is ruined because of TikTok. And I just want to clear this up. They're probably right. But I am in no way, shape, or form better. I love doom scrolling for hours throughout the day. It's how I get inspired to do my animations for TikTok. Even so, there is some validity to short-form content potentially affecting attention spans, especially for children who are currently growing up in this day and age. Now, I'm not here to talk about statistics on why it's bad for you to use short-form content. I'm not here trying to be negative about short-form content because somehow it's more nourishing to spend 4 hours watching a video essay and forgetting about your own health. Besides, I don't need to defend the stance. Long-form content is still relevant to this day. Right? Oh my god. I don't believe short-form content will have a detrimental effect on long-form content itself, as they both coexist just fine. It's just becoming a task for some people to genuinely sit down and enjoy a video essay about a niche or important topic.
Why? Because being a woman is the worst. It's like playing one of your video games without the stick of happiness.
Do you mean the joystick?
I can't believe they let that get past the censors. For those of you who don't get the joke, the joystick is a metaphor for penis.
This effectively leads people to watch a shortened video that explains a certain issue or controversy horribly. A lot of drama as of lately tends to be justified to an extent, and usually regards a horrid thing a person has done. Now, there are plenty of issues with the way we go about handling drama on the internet, both the person getting cancelled and the people pushing out evidence. The downside is that when some of these content creators make a video covering a controversy, they might end up being biased and influencing the opinions of others, even if they claim they're neutral. It's really dependent on how much information they provide though. Gotta love it when someone is under controversy and people on Twitter or TikTok start saying some BS like, I never liked this person. I've always had a bad feeling about them anyway, so good thing they're getting cancelled, I guess. But if the way we handle drama is already pretty bad and biased, then how could it get worse? The problem with the whole, I just saved you 40 minutes content is that it shortens a video that has an insane amount of context just for the main key points to be focused on. Sure, the main points of the video will be the most important. However, a lot of situations require you, the user, to study a good amount, look into what you've learned, and form your own opinion. My biggest gripe with these types of videos is their titles and thumbnails. Sometimes they'll say something like ADHD version? How the hell are you gonna make a condition a marketing buzzword for your unoriginal content? The very act of making this sort of content perpetuates a sort of negative connotation on people who actually have ADHD. It's just plain disrespectful to actual people who have said conditions. That's like me serving food to a group, and then when I go to the person with the eating disorder, I say, "Here's your burger, anorexic version." Like, what? It's really absurd because I sometimes come across these ridiculous TikTok cat videos where certain bodily functions and activities are explained using cats. They go as far as explaining what autism is with quirky kitty baby talk. This content is just completely infantilizing. I have no idea how people think this content is good. Even though most of these videos are not made in bad taste, they tend to be reliant on word of mouth, or a bit of evidence that doesn't paint the whole picture for the viewer. This is exactly why I believe that the internet killed independent thought. It is apparently too much of a task for people to do a little bit of research online. Because of this, it's become incredibly easy to be influenced by information from unreliable sources. You can only rely on word of mouth so much. This isn't to throw flack at creators who explain world events or other important issues, because trust me, there's a lot of them. Like, a lot. It's more so to throw flack at people who have grown lazier at doing their own research. And I'm not saying, "Hey buddy, so you need to read this 40-page Google Doc of why this person is a bad person." Sometimes it's plain as day, and you don't need to know every single detail. But a little bit of research never killed anyone. Doing that little bit of research could prove to you that not every situation is black and white. When you avoid researching things online, you're letting yourself be influenced by popular opinion. You're actively shutting yourself out from actually knowing what is going on and what is actually true. Regardless of whether the person who is getting cancelled did it or not, a bit of research is the bare minimum you can do to be respectful regarding the situation. You can always choose not to do any research, but then you'll end up ruining the reputations of potentially innocent people just because some random person didn't like them. Then again, if you're choosing not to do any research, you're probably intentionally ignorant of the actual facts or outside opinions. So you end up being an insufferable person who can't fathom a world where people believe other things. You know, this is exactly why political grifters do so well with this type of stuff. It's very easy to adopt some political ideology and spread misinformation online that easily influences young and impressionable teenage boys. Content creators like Aiden Ross, Sneeko, Andrew Tate, and other awful right-wing grifters are prime examples of creators on the internet taking advantage of impressionable people. Ironically, it's not even an issue that just affects the youth, but also full-grown adults. Some adults are fully convinced of the things they see on the news or on their Facebook pages, and their own ideologies get radicalized by pure misinformation. I guess it was a given if they were easily falling for the most obvious AI videos. But political content creators can cause fear amongst people who aren't educated enough or do proper research on certain happenings around the world. This can be intentional or unintentional, but sometimes these accounts do it intentionally to cause fear in oblivious people online. It's just to push an agenda, honestly. I've been a victim of fear-mongering when I was younger, as I thought anything that happened in the world was going to cause a third world war. You guys don't understand. I was horrified of like any news that happened in the Middle East or any news that happened with Russia. I thought we were gonna get nuked instantly. But, you know, eventually I discovered that not everything people say online is absolute. You should always take any bit of information online with a grain of salt. But I digress. It's important to fact check things yourself, as relying on a singular TikTok for your information and not even bothering to search anything regarding whatever topic you were looking at up is very telling on how little we bother to inform ourselves with actual articles and reputable sources online. This happens so much. Like on TikTok, it's such a big thing for just some random guy to say something and people just believe it instantly. Just don't complain or switch up when you find out the sources of your daily news were actually false and made you look dumb on Twitter. Listen, I won't be a complete and utter bum and tell people that they can't use any of the sorts of content talked about in this video. It could be the best way some people get their daily dose of internet. Oh my god, he said that, In a way, if I told you what to do, I'd be no better than all of these other content creators. Maybe I should start an alpha male subscription. Maybe make you pay like $600 each month. Yeah, I mean, I can probably... It really is understandable if it's more practical or entertaining for you to get simplified information online. That's fine. Genuinely. It's okay. Sometimes simplified information is just better and quicker. But it's just a matter of being attentive to the things you've watched online. As, like I said before, it can easily misinform you or not paint the whole picture. I'm just glad my advanced mind isn't susceptible to all these grifters and misinformation. Yeah, I guess I'm a genius. Anyways, this one YouTuber I don't like is getting canceled now, so I'm just gonna go and spread misinformation on them.